OK, so Liam Rosenior is taking charge of Chelsea for the first time this weekend, and Troy has a little to-do list for him, what he needs to do as he comes into Chelsea. Before we get into that, though, Geoff, Nico, talk to me about the state of the club at the moment. They've just brought in Liam Rosenior. It's kind of a roller coaster ride with Enzo Maresca. What's the state of Chelsea right now?
That's an interesting comment. Can you expand on that a little, Nico?
Because it's not shambolic, but I think Maresca made it very clear that the way that it operates, it's very uncommon. That there are cooks in the kitchen, some cooks that have never cooked before, and that you're going to work under circumstances that are a little bit strange. And Liam Rosenior is not an experienced person that might walk in there and say, hey, let me do my job, right? It's like, no, you're getting hired to do what we want to do, at least from the outside. That's my read on it. But they're in a good position, all in all said, in the league table. Like, they still have a shot at making Champions League. They have world-class players. Like, it's... I'd be very motivated, let's say that, if I'm Liam.
100%. It's a massive opportunity for Liam. I think we haven't necessarily heard, because normally the League Managers Association put out a statement that says, from the fired manager, thank you everybody there for my wonderful time. You're all lovely, lovely people. I appreciated the chance, which basically means, yeah, I've been paid off, so I'm not going to say anything nasty about you. I think we may hear from Maresca in the future and how difficult he found it and how difficult he found it being in that structure. To use your analogy, being the head chef, him choosing the ingredients, him choosing the recipe, him choosing how it's served. I think there's more to hear on this. I also agree with you that Liam Rosenior, he is a company man. He was taken from one part of the company. He's put into another part of the company.
I would describe the state of Chelsea like a groggy boxer. You've just received a punch, you're still in the fight, but you need to get back here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But I think the owners will say, yeah, but we're ahead on points. OK, we might have taken one on the chin. We could easily knock out other people. And we've just won these 2 trophies under the last guy we put in. We'll just replace him, get another guy in there. I think there's an arrogance about the ownership.
OK, then. Right, so, Troy, you've got a little checklist, to-do list, what Liam Rosenior needs to do now in his new role at Chelsea. So walk us through that list.
Yeah, I will, but Liam Rosenior's just done his press conference, his very first one, and he said, I'm not arrogant, but I am very, very good at my job. Oh. So I think it's a great example of Liam showing you he is self-assured, he's ready for the job. But also, if we're being totally honest, he's left himself open. Because if you don't perform straight away and don't sort these things out, then I think he's going to be in trouble straight away with the fan base.
Did he go as far as to say, I'm a special one?
No, he left
there was another guy who sat in that chair in that press conference room and said exactly the same thing.
But actually delivered it, so he has to. So for me, disciplinary issues, 6 red cards in the Premier League, double the nearest one. So they are so far ahead. I think this is a bit left over from Maresca. Look, red cards, they're first. Yellow cards, they're fourth. Make a lot of fouls. This is give and take because you can give it to different people.
This is also give and take. Yellow cards, fouls, like, as long as you're not getting sent off, and as long as this doesn't add up to a suspension.
As you know, if you're fourth and you're getting this many yellow cards, it leads to more of these. There is an impact. But the one thing I did wanted to highlight with this, sorry, Geoff, is when Cucurella got red card, 3 more players got a yellow. Let me say that again. Cucurella got sent off. Cole Palmer gets a yellow. Enzo gets a yellow for arguing. And the coach gets a yellow for arguing. He gets sent off. So 4 people for 1 action. That's why these are so bad. When something happens, you're frustrated, whatever, move on.
Right. To your point, that's on those yellow cards. I wonder how many of those red cards, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, I can think of Delap, I think Cucurella.
Moises Caicedo.
Yes. Yeah. How many of those were unnecessary?
A lot of them.
Yeah, the Caicedo one, for example.
The Sanchez one against Man United, they don't need to. They're in control. They lose the ball. He comes out, makes a mistake. Yeah. You can talk about, I think it's Chalobah against Brighton. They had the ball, they played it back, get sent off. It's in their own hands. So if he clears that up, that's the biggest issue.
How does he come in and clear that up?
Mentality, focus. right, things happen in games. Why are we turning over the ball when we've got it? Chelsea, to me, look, they're most vulnerable when they have the ball. They have the ball, they're playing, but they're so expansive. And with a young team, you've got to make mistakes. As soon as they leave it open, it's straight through, and they're always in recovery mode. So for me, it's about mentality, understanding what can happen. Again, I've been a coach and I've been a player. When you're a player, you're the first striker, you're the first line of defence. You're trying to stop something. As a defender, while we're attacking, you're always thinking, what happens if? What happens if they lose the ball? Are we in the right place?
Right.
And I think a lot of their players are watching. They're watching the game.
And they're almost too reactive. The moment that they lose the ball, it's rash. It's not like have that moment of poise. When you lose the ball, it just felt like they weren't in sync in that first action. Maybe the second action after you lose the ball, it was like, all right, let's get it back. Boom, two-footed tackle, and then
but
red
the
card,
biggest
right?
thing is red cards happen, right? By the way, this is as many as I had in my career, so I'm not one to sit here and judge. But it's double Everton. And Everton are a more physical team.
And they had 2 in the last game, Everton.
So when you start to put it into that context, it's not 1 or 2, it's slight years ahead of everybody else. So that's the first issue to get on. So the second issue, hopefully we'll get on there now if producers can catch up. There we go. Find your best forwards. This one for me it's got to actually blow Nico's mind here. So they've had 15 different variations already this season in 26 matches.
Of which positions?
Of the 2 wide players and the 10 and the 9.
Okay.
15 different variants of it. The Lap, Pedro, Neto and Esteval have become the most used, and that's 6 times. So over the course of the season, you played with 6 people, 6 times with the same people. That's the most. Too much rotation. No understanding whether that be injuries, suspensions. And look, the Lap's been injured. João, me and Nico spoke about this privately, came straight off the beach, played in the Club World Cup, no pre-season, and said, go on then, carry this team for us. Percy figures a little bit unfair, but he's still doing okay, but not to the levels he would expect. Liam's been a little bit disappointed both through disciplinary and through injury. But this is a Chelsea team that keep telling us next year will be good. Next year will be good. This team will grow together. And just look, when you look at it, they've all played a lot of matches. The goal contributions is not good enough for a team that's trying to get in the Champions League.
Troy, you've been a striker, you've been a forward. Talk to us about the importance of relationships, of building an understanding, of that you get that almost telepathic understanding. Yeah. You know when your winger's going to cross it. He knows when you're going to check in and check out. How much do you think that is handicapping Chelsea, this rotation?
Massively. So, for example, I would look at it and say, well, Pedro Neto plays on the right, he's left-footed. So that means 9 times out of 10, he's going to cut back in on this way, and every cross is going to be an in-swinger. So I need to make my runs to the near post because it's always going to be coming in that way. So I'm trying to get down the curve of the ball. Jamie Gittins hasn't played enough, in my opinion, but when he has, I don't know when he's going to cross the ball. Because sometimes he'll run it off the pitch, he takes step-overs, he doesn't cross it, he chops, he churns.
I don't think he's good enough.
That's to be decided. Garnacho, another
also
one,
not good
doesn't
enough.
Go past people. So again, as a striker, I'm in the middle. I'm like, when? When's it coming? When's it coming? Esteban, to me, is the one who's the most consistent, but is a young man who likes to score first. His mentality is score first, not assist first. So as a striker, to go back to your point, I'm trying to learn these relationships. I'm trying to learn the understanding. But how can I do that if they don't play regularly? Which one am I trying to learn of?
Well, and double down on that, can you tell me who is Chelsea's number 9? Who is their striker?
I'd have to say it's João Pedro at this moment in time. Having played with João, I think his best position is either a 10 or off the left. But because of the way this is, I don't think anyone moves Cole Palmer.
Right.
So again, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. Like I don't know where the best position is. So
it's like an overbooking. But yeah. the ironic part is that these problems were brought onto by Chelsea.
Yeah.
This is Chelsea's MO with Blue Co, right? Sign these players to 15.5 year deals. You're gonna
well, the manager just signed a 6.5.
Right, yeah. and so you're gonna have a Jamie Gittins. You gotta ask yourself, Dortmund, who is one of the premier developmental sites of young players, why did they want to get rid of Jamie Gittins? And why not keep him? For some reason, they wanted to get rid of him, and he had a couple significant goal contributions last season. But they move on. Manchester United get rid of Garnacho. All right. I'm questioning the quality. It feels like I think Esteval, out of all these guys, Esteval has the highest ceiling, and Maresca really took him under his shoulder. So to me, it seems like Liam Rosenior needs to identify with which players he wants to build his project. And Liam Delap, for me, it's not a Chelsea level number 9. So maybe perhaps they even have to go out and get a clinical striker.
And unfortunately, the world that we live in now is everyone wants a striker because strikers are, they're not around as they used to be. And then the final one for me, which I think ties all of this together, staying healthy and finding consistency. The amount of injuries that they've had. They've got the likes of Reece James that has to be on restrictions. Fofana is on restrictions, as is Cole Palmer. 3 of your top players. And then look, Cole Palmer's already missed 16. Unfortunately, Colwell will be out for the whole season. Liam Delap, 15 already. Lavia, again, an exceptional player that just seems to be
never see him.
Seems to have made a glass, unfortunately. 17 games. Big players that always just seem to can't stay fit. And between managing time on the pitch, training time, recovery time, and the amount of games and the competitions that they're in, it's a real tough one for Liam to go, right, that's my starting 11 and we're going to stick with it. But I think he has to now, at this second half of the season, kind of roll the dice, not only for himself, but for Chelsea to be up there, because I expect the likes of Newcastle to start coming strong in the second half of the season. I expect Spurs to be better. I expect Man United to... Actually, I don't expect Man United to be better. So we're just in a situation where I just think they have to be very careful that they might just miss out on the top 4.
But Troy, can a manager really influence players not being injured?
Yes, so training times, you have an impact, that you have a good relationship with the physio department and you build a plan, but also there's certain times... What I used to find frustrating is when a player might go, I'm feeling good, and they go, oh, no, but look, your numbers
You're in the red zone.
And then they pull you out. And it's like, well, sometimes if the player feels good, let the player go. Let the player go, because sometimes you could be pulling him back, which you think you're trying to protect him, but now you're planting a seed in the player's mind. What can I push? And then that's where the injuries come. So it's a very difficult balance. It's one they're going to have to try and get. But again, the key part to this, Reece James, captain. You need him fit and available. So if it means 3 games in a week they miss midweek, no problem. We've got the squad to deal with that. But we need to have our best players play in 2 of the 3 games. And that would be what I'd be saying to the physio department.